Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to episode 9 of chapter 6. We are returning back to Cowboy Carter, and then we will do the finale of episode 10 of season or chapter 6. Roll the clip. So, guys, welcome back to chapter 6, episode 9. So, we are almost at the finale of the Beyonce theory leading up to Act 3 and the mysterious Act 4. Now, I've been referencing this before, but if you go to her Beyonce.com, you could see all of the tour dates based on the different events that has happened during the Cowboy Carter era. Also, here is something pretty cool that I discovered. I would say, if you go and click each of the stars, when you zoom all the way back, it's gonna be combining, I say, into one big star. That's when you refresh it. But you can see all of the moments from Cowboy Carter, the era, the impact that this era had, and the importance of Cowboy Carter. Now, I did reference that we are going to reference There Are No UFOs, and I think we're going to get into this now. So, there's a segment in the Cowboy Carter segments. It's literally all of the, I would say, the celestial bodies when they huddle up before they sing the humming tone of American Requiem. Upon singing American Requiem, there has been a lot of speculation that the tumbling of the horses that are arriving to start the act or the performance is also beeping towards the track that will start Act 3. Just like in Renaissance, how I would say Amen ended in Cowboy Carter, and then as it's like zooming off, like a hovering, like a beam, almost like the alien spaceship flying away, it kicks off Renaissance. Similar to American Requiem, or how Renaissance interloops at the end, which will be probably Act 3. Whatever that is going to be. And speaking of Act 3, we are a couple of weeks in before May gets here. And let me be the first to say, yesterday, which was the 21st, we knew that Prince passed away on the 21st of April. He died at 57. And now we know that the 23rd was the release of Lemonade, which will mark exactly 10 years anniversary. We might get something. Now, we know that there's a lot of things that are being in place. For one, from what I heard, Cadillac Record, the Cadillac movie that Beyonce played, I think Etta Jane, went back into theaters on May 4th. Also, Beyonce's aligning that, I think I referenced to Muddy Waters being the original king of rock and roll. And then the architect of rock and roll, which is Little Richard. We also have the queen of rock and roll, which is Tina Turner. So there's a lot of things that are being in place for the release of May. And I think I referenced that a lot of people are avoiding May 29th due date. I'm not sure why, but there might be a heavy, significant reason. Furthermore, to reclaim everything that was reclaimed from this era, I think Beyonce did her job. I think the impact of this album will be thumping throughout years and years to come, because the amount of things that was studied to put this together, I think that was immaculate. I think this album teaches us that no matter where we are in society, we can always make a difference, and music find its way to become universal, and from that universal, it's able to create these bridges that other people could walk on, right? And with the country era of Cowboy Carter, well, we could call it the Beyonce era, was very important to propel what she planned on doing forward. Now, if we look back in 2013, when Beyonce was releasing self-titled, nobody knew what she was doing. We just heard that Beyonce was recording things here and there, similarly to what she is doing right now with those 3 acts. We haven't got the visuals for Act 1 nor Act 2. She secretly been recording things here and there. Latestly, I think I referenced that from episode 8, how she literally, this picture tells me everything that I need to know what this next album is going to be like. It's going to be so freaking loud, and I referenced this before in my episode 8. We might get a 40-track album. And speaking of 40-track, or it could be similar to Cowboy Carter 27, but my intuition of how she's going to fit those 2 previous eras into Act 3, and how that's going to be incorporated into when she goes on tour. And also, let's not forget, this picture is referencing this point in time. Let's check it out.
Embrace your past, but live for now. Now put your arm on this, 'cause I put it.
And I find this pretty cool because in this part, she referenced herself so many times. And like I said, if you go back to the start of her website, the more you click it to restart, you've seen that there's a huddle of the 5 stars. And there's a screaming of her going on the horse, the black horse. That the Chardonnay, which is a Dorsal Zeppelin, which is the type of horse breed that starts white and it converts over time into black, or it starts black and it turns white later on. Similar to, I think she's doing it in reverse, where this is like a Sasha Fierce moment, where I still believe, in my opinion, that's just my opinion, but Cowboy Carter is still not over. And that in order for us to get a bridge to next, like the Act 3, it's going to have some sort of tie-in into Act 2 to branch into going in Act 3. Now, like I said, how she's going to incorporate the entire album of Renaissance and Cowboy Carter when she goes on tour, that is something to see. Because the first Act 1, we saw the robotic futuristic Chrome. Act 2 was the like robotic type of Tin Man, Scarecrow type of energy, and desert like theme. And in Act 3, we might get something with the like animals, like very animalistic, like similar to when you think of 4, especially Run the World. She had this animalistic energy when she was performing 4. And remember, there was a point where I think she did like this type of makeup where it's like her eyebrows was like completely gone. I think she's gonna return something like that, and she's gonna be more vicious. The reason why I hint at that is because she referenced that herself when she was at the sacred lunch, like the expansion lunch, and she mentioned that, her job is to, be like Sasha Fierce and, bring a bit of Sasha into her to bring back. So it seems like Beyonce's leg has officially healed, which means we might see Beyonce dance harder than we ever see her do. That's why a lot of people was like, we don't see Beyonce was dancing in Cowboy Carter as much. Similar to when Renaissance rolled out and everybody was like, what's wrong with Beyonce? She started off very, very, very slow and then started picking it up as we were going. And then eventually everybody really liked the new way she was dancing. Similar to Cowboy Carter, where she's doing very minimal of dance, but more power of the voice. But now that she have accomplished those two tours alone, I think now it's time for her to combine those two. From her head voice, her singing, to now combining it back into her dancing, which we will get like the old version of Beyonce, but a more upgraded version. I think, like I said, the root of all the evil that we're seeing from the 3 acts is the return of Sasha Fierce, but I think she's gonna be even more prominent than before. Now we have a couple of weeks to go. Well, one more week to go towards the Met Gala, and I can tell you confidently that we're gonna get something that involves those celestial costumes that she has from Renaissance or Cowboy Carter. Okay? Make sure you guys like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys for finale of chapter 6. Bye bye, be safe, and let the games begin.